Let's podcast alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovias. We are back inside Eford Studios together for the first time in 2 weeks, and you're a completely changed man, Joe.
I think it's 3 weeks.
Has it been 3 weeks?
You were out. I was out. We were both out.
Oh, yeah, it has been 3 weeks. Damn.
Yeah.
I don't even recognize you.
I know.
You gave yourself a haircut.
I did, and then I had to have Leanne save me.
How did you give yourself a haircut? Did you have like the suck cut? Like, what did you do?
No, I have
the
clippers.
Flowbee?
Basically, but it's a clip, just clippers.
And you didn't do a good job?
No, it was.
Tell you what, man.
It was serviceable.
Took like 10 years off your age, man. You look a lot younger.
Well, you know, it's the summer. I'm trying over here.
And we're completely becoming, like, I think we're cycling.
Twinning?
I think we're like cycling together at the same time now because we're actually wearing loud pattern shirts on the same days.
Yeah, I got my rollback shipment this week. These are my peaches. You don't know this, but I play a tailor-made peaches ball.
Okay.
And so when I saw that they had peaches for a shirt, I was like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's interesting. You had sent me this tweet from Costanza, from Jason Alexander. I'm so glad Bobblehead George was a fan fave. No, I didn't get anything for it except joy that 35 years after putting on those glasses, people are still enjoying our work. The show was a gift from you to us. Thanks for keeping it alive. Serenity now. And I saw that Jason Alexander tweet. It actually got me to think about two things with seeing him. The first one is, I feel like you got some grievances you want to air with me now that we're back in the studio for the first time in 3 weeks.
You kind of locked me out of the YouTube.
I didn't lock you out of the YouTube.
Just as it's okay for me to admit that you were right about me getting a new computer, it's okay for you to sit here and say, you know what? I set up the authentication for it to be sent to your phone and your phone alone.
But here's my question.
Which did not give me a way into our YouTube channel, which meant I had to call Dimitri because you were on like some pontoon boat in Florida somewhere.
I told you I was on.
So Dimitri had to set it up for me. And only because of Dimitri did the show happen that day. That was only one of the fucking obstacles that day.
I warned you.
So hold on. It's okay for you to admit that you locked me out.
Absolutely not.
I don't think you did it on purpose. You weren't malicious about it, but that's what happened.
Two things. One, you got a new computer.
Correct.
Have you considered that you never had any issues with your old computer? Right? You never had any issues logging into anything.
Until it died?
Until it died and you got a new computer.
Right.
Right? So you see the correlation here. So you were able to log into the YouTube stuff because you've been able to do that stuff while I've been gone before.
Right, but there was you had previously authenticated that computer to be a user, I think, or whatever at the time.
Maybe that was the case.
Yeah.
You decided all of a sudden, you finally had this epiphany.
No, it died.
That's right,
you were out of town.
That's right. Your computer died.
The only way for me to do the show that Monday was for me to buy a new computer.
So you finally, after months and months and months of me telling you, get a freaking new computer so it doesn't sound like the MacBook Air is about to take off.
Yeah, it does.
To MIA with a connecting flight to who knows where. The thing, it would take like 2 hours for you to render video.
Yeah,
right?
It was bad.
It was bad. I kept telling you, you want to buy a bike, buy a damn computer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was the right call.
It was the right call. So this is a scramble for you before you go to Omaha. And I think that's what ended up happening. I think there was like a confluence of things that we probably could have gotten fixed. And then, of course, all this happens with your first show being from Omaha on the day that I am literally
off the grid.
Unavailable. I told you, I warned you, like, buddy, once I get on that boat to dry Tortugas, I am gone until I get back to Key West.
Still don't hear the part where you say, yeah, man, my bad. I didn't mean to lock you out of our own account. But that's
all right. We'll tell you what, let's say it at the same time. I was right about the computer.
Oh, you were right about the computer.
And you were right about the authentication thing where you have to like go through YouTube and all this other stuff and everything else.
It's like open up the YouTube page on your phone and I'm sitting here on it says on Joe's phone. So I'm sitting here like,
yeah, that's my phone.
I'm in like this truncated, abbreviated press room in Omaha with the TV people who still weren't showering. And I'm just kind of like, what is going on down here? I created my own space down here because I don't trust the other plebes, but I trust you people.
Right.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, maybe I should also change it like Joe's phone. No. Maybe it should be Hernando's phone.
There we go.
And then we should go from there. And that way we know the difference. So that you would be Joseph, I would be Jose. That's how we differentiate.
Yeah, make it work. Kind of like Copiers Plus makes it work for us.
So how much Copiers Plus usage have you had?
Man, so much because first of all, trying to figure out where I'm going, and I almost felt like your dad. Like I just want to print out the trip ticket at this point to make sure that I'm going to the right place. You know what I mean?
I just sent this to my brother yesterday because it was a meme making the round. It's called Yes But, right? And Yes But, it's an e-ticket with a QR code, which is what you're supposed to like send to somebody. But then the but is, if I'll hold it up on the YouTube screen, it's somebody actually holding a printout of said e-ticket. That's my dad. So you did the same thing,
man.
You just print out stuff, which is good because that's what you need with Copiers Plus.
I need it. Plus we had some contract updates.
Yeah,
big shakings and movings and goings on. Nature's Relief, huge, love them. Roback, our guys, Roback.
Oh, you're doing the thing again.
No, I'm not.
You're doing the thing again. You're going full Bill Simmons on me.
I promise.
You're going 5 minutes of ads before we get into actual show content.
I kind of like that. I don't know why you're so averse to that model. That's a little bit of your radio.
No, it's not that I'm averse to the model. The model is known to be a failed model. That's why it's called.
Bill's still cashing checks. Come on,
he sold out is what he did. I mean, good for him. I mean, he built up the company and then all the podcast. No. That's not what I'm saying by sell out.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is not an anti-sellout. I'm saying he literally sold his company to Spotify.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. The Ringer got sold to Spotify.
Okay.
And now he just now he's living the dream, the true dream.
Yeah.
You just get me to podcast. Good to go.
Okay.
That's all that is.
Yeah, I don't keep up with all that. So, okay.
No, I will say this about Kyocera. Now that I have been,
you're giving it more of a workout than me,
buddy.
You somehow worked yourself into like sort of general manager, Junior Canes role.
No, I'm not.
You're like making schedules.
I don't know.
Booking flights.
This is one of those things where I am now the team manager. I'm now the team manager for Jacob's travel hockey team.
Put that jacket on, sir.
Oh, I get my own special jacket now.
Oh, is it like green?
No, I found this out. I got an email from the Junior Cane saying, "Hey, well, we're sizing jackets. As a team manager, you get a jacket." I'm like, oh. You know, I need this team manager jacket when we go talk to Eric Tulsky later today, general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Like, hey, man, game recognizes game.
Hey, man, I'm sitting here trying to work out schedules and everything else, and, where the team meal is going to be. It's the same thing. Same thing. Working out contracts and arbitration and various other stuff, right? No, but that Kyocera printer is going to be necessary because I have to sign, like, tournament contracts and crap now. Like, print it out, sign it, send it back.
Good thing you know a lawyer.
I know, right? It's all good like that. So we are back. Speaking of the Carolina Hurricanes, I feel like we should just go ahead and take a hockey break right now.
Let's take a break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hale.
And big thanks to Happy and Hale. You weren't here, but I know when I got back from Florida and having rich food on top of Disney food, let me tell you about the Happy and Hale detox I did.
I did the same
salads.
thing, man.
I need that roughage bad.
Same deal.
But it's also not like the painful kind of like, oh, I have to eat a salad. No, this is like whole delicious food. So check out Happy and Hale locations across the Triangle, North Hills. They got one out in North Raleigh, Durham as well. And of course, when the Canes are back, you can check out their food at PNC Arena. I'll tell you what, the Carolina Hurricanes are going to look a little differently when we get back on the ice for the regular season. A lot of guys had to say bye-bye because they can't pay them all, Joe. So they've had to replace them with guys that are probably a little bit not comparable, but the idea being that there's a replacement level there that you take in place of the big contracts that were going to be doled out. There was only one contract that I was upset about. Only one departure that made me go, come on, guys. It didn't have to be that hard.
Okay.
It wasn't Brett Pesce. It wasn't Brady Shea. It wasn't guys like Steph Nason, who I think we understand played their way into a contract somewhere else. We've seen this with the Carolina Hurricanes before. Grinder dudes who play absolutely great. They become fan favorites. They've been key parts of it, and then they go cash out somewhere else. I feel like Steph Nason is a prime
Brock
example.
McGinn, Warren Fogile.
There's so many dudes like that have come from the Canes, right? Totally get it. Shout out to Greg McKegg, the OG.
I'm gonna let you finish your point, but go ahead. I got something for you. Just remind me.
It's the Gensel deal. That's the one that they probably could have had if they didn't follow the pattern that they always seem to have under Tom Dundon since he's been the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes, and wait till this contract stuff gets to the very end. The minute you let Gensel start to get a whiff of what his market was, he was gone. Do it earlier so you don't find yourself either overpaying or seeing the guy go bye-bye. This is why, like with the Seth Jarvis situation, I'm like, just sign the guy already. Yeah. The same thing happened with Sebastian Aho. they probably got lucky with Andrei Svechnikov by waiting because he did not exactly have this incredible year to up his value. So it ended up being a little bit more team friendly in the grand scheme of things. But you can't always do that. And I felt like there was something there with Gensel with the reported 8 for 8. He ended up getting 7 and 9 from Tampa. I felt like, and based on the reporting that I'd seen from the Canadian insiders, it probably would have worked out for the Canes had they just gone ahead and done it earlier rather than letting it get closer to free agency.
If you're Gensel's agent, you're not letting him sign anything once he gets to Carolina. You're too close to it. You're too close to a payday.
Sure.
And shit, man, what'd we learn about taxes? But he's about to go play somewhere where it's going to be competitive, and it's a significant tax break to play in Florida.
Of course it is. Yeah, no state income tax. Right.
I don't blame them. I don't have any fault with the Gensel situation.
Okay.
They didn't overpay for him at the deadline.
No.
And they now have his slot to use. If you were Gensel's agent, there's no way you let him sign a contract.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a single chance unless they win the Stanley Cup with you. And even then you're like, well, now look at my value. So his agent did his job.
Okay.
My problem with the Hurricanes. Now, I said this to Rod Brendamore's face, and I'm sure I can say it again to either one of their faces.
Mm-hmm.
We are 90. What was it? Did I say 95 or 99% supportive of what they do?
I think it's like 99%.
Yeah. I think that's what I said. 99.
Sure.
And then but I said, now, why'd you break up the top line? And he had a great answer, right? They're not big enough.
Yeah.
And to me, that answer said to me, if he's not big enough to play on your top line and making those other guys better, you don't need to invest in him. Okay. Mm-hmm. But here's my thing though. I think they screwed up with Pesce and Burns with Pesce and Shea.
Okay.
I think they screwed up. You said had to. Well, yeah, at that point, Pesce and Shea are saying, I got to go make real money. Mm-hmm. They probably would have taken a discount a year or two ago.
Okay.
Pesce changes the agents, and the writing was kind of on the wall.
That was on the wall. That's always on the wall.
Shea's the one that bothers me.
Okay.
They went into the market, and last year they add what you would think of as a luxury in Dmitry Orlov. Well, now you're paying Dmitry Orlov this year when you could have redone a deal with Shea earlier. Mm-hmm. That's the guy who you could have had earlier at a discounted rate.
Okay.
I think they bungled the Shea deal.
Okay.
I think Shea's a really good player too. I'd rather have Shea than Dmitry Orlov right now. I think they made two semi-luxury moves on older type players in Burns and Orlov in the previous 2 years combined.
Okay.
And I would rather be sitting here in 2024 with Pesce and Shea than Burns and Orlov. That's me. Okay. I think they misplayed their hand with those contracts. Again, Pesce changed his agents last summer. The writing's on the wall with that one.
Shea, I'm with you on Shea,
I feel like could have been worked out and should have been worked out. So I think they kind of screwed up with Shea.
So about the Pesce situation, defensively, I think the Canes are fine. Okay.
Getting Chatfield back, I know they had to pay him more, which is obvious.
Yes.
That was good. That was really good. And they do have some younger players. The Russian guy, if they can get him over here and work that out, they have ways to replace the players that they've lost. I don't love going into this year with Burns and Orlov at the minutes that they're going to have to play them. They have to play a whole lot better than they did in the postseason. I'm talking a lot better than they played in the postseason. And you're asking a whole lot of Brent Burns at 39 to magically be better.
But you just referenced what I think the Canes are looking for down the line. And it all gets back into the conversation about windows.
Yeah.
When we had this conversation with Luke DeCock at the News and Observer about this, we've had it with Mike Maniscalco. You and I have had this conversation ad nauseum as it relates to windows and why the reaction to this postseason exit was the way that it was. Because I think we all recognized before all these moves, we recognized that night when they lost to the Rangers, man, you're going to look back on these last couple of years and wonder, we missed a chance. That's not to say that the Carolina Hurricanes won't be competitive going forward. We're not going back to 10 years of not making the playoffs or just, missing it out on one game because the road trip in October, failed, right? Or November or whatever it is. The fair exit, right? So I don't think the Canes are ever going to go back to that. I think the Canes probably did their best that they could do defensively. The issue with the Canes is the issue that I've been kind of pounding the table on the last couple of years. Goal scoring. consistent, high-level goal scoring. That's why the Gensel situation makes me kind of like, guys, I thought the whole deal was you brought him here because you thought you had a legitimate chance of keeping him here. You didn't want to do rentals. You make these moves because you think you have a chance to keep him here. Well, there was a chance to keep him here. You didn't. So now I look at the roster, and with the nature situation playing out the way that it is, where he's going to be on he just elected for arbitration. Him and Jack Drury elected for arbitration. The way arbitration works is that right off the bat, nobody can give an offer sheet at this point. So that's off the table. It's probably going to be, depending on what kind of money, I forgot what the threshold is, but it's like $4.5 million. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's about $4.5 million. If the arbitrator comes back at Nature's getting over $4.5 million for 2 years, the Hurricanes can walk away from that. We're not going to sign that. And he becomes an unrestricted free agent. Under that, they work it out and they go, that's my understanding of arbitration. So now I look at it, I'm like, okay, I like Natchez, but what's Natchez's role going to be? Are they actually going to let Natchez flourish? Is it going to be a situation that we've heard about in the past where it's Svechnikov, fetch. Oh, yeah, and Natchez maybe. Is he going to be elevated and have a larger role? Because he didn't necessarily have a bigger role last year, so much to the point where Don Waddell on his way out had a little fun with the expense of the parent with Marty Natchez. Like, yeah. I mean, a parent complaining about ice time. Stop me if you've heard that one before, right? So that's an interesting situation. So it comes back down to, do you have a roster that will put points on the board? Will you score goals? Because that continues to be my biggest issue with the Carolina Hurricanes throughout this entire process under Rod Brind'Amour, and whether it's Don Waddell and now Eric Tulsky. You put shots on shots on shots. Cool. But do you have the dude that can consistently get you goal scoring in the postseason? We haven't consistently seen that. You're basically looking at Andrei Svechnikov and the deal that he got now and going, all right, dude, now it's your time to be that guy the way we think you can be that guy.
Well, it's interesting, ESPN and our friend Greg Wyshynski put out a list at the beginning of free agents. Here are the top players available.
Yeah.
And Jake Gensel was the top player available. I'm sitting here going, ooh, that's not good for the Canes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you can let a player like Gensel go if you can find a commensurate replacement.
Sure.
Mark Chasseau ended up in Nashville. That's another one where you got to look at it and go, now, did you make the right play on some of these things? Because again, you can let people go, but as Rod Brind'Amour told us, we're not going to overpay people.
Yeah,
we're not.
That's fine,
and that's their thing. So it'll be interesting to see how they can piece this thing together. It might be.
You mentioned Nashville, your guy.
I know,
locking in a nice
deal. Juice. I know. Right? They're going to have a look at this thing.
Because that's another thing, too, when it comes to...
Yeah, it ain't about who's in front of you. Right? It never is, man. It never is.
That's the other aspect about it, too. I mean, last time we checked, Rod Brind'Amour wasn't exactly happy with the way Freddie Anderson closed out the playoffs.
No.
Again, he called it out for what it is.
Sure.
Now, do you trust Freddie to be that guy next year? Because the way things are shaking out right now, it's entirely possible that you're going to have the same tandem next season with Anderson and Kochetkov. Do you hand the reins over to Kochetkov more? I don't know. So these are things to look at going forward. I put the call out for the OG Sports Phone from Canes fans just to kind of react to an incomplete offseason picture for the Carolina Hurricanes. They've had the draft and everything else. So let's see what the Sports Phone had to say.
At least we will have Park Index.
Damn. True. I know that wasn't Steve. He does not want parking decks. We know that about Steve.
I know.
I'm pretty sure that was not Steve's.
It was sarcasm, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe it was. All right, let's see what else is in the Sports Phone.
Yeah. How about them Canes, huh? Worked so well. Getting them before. Here they come. Let's get a bunch of fucking fourth liners. Yeah. This should go well.
Well then. Okay. Hopefully there's an optimistic one coming up. Who knows?
Hey there. Go Canes. Where do we go from here? Here's the problem. We didn't pay KK enough money. He's a $40 million a year player. Let's jack all the cash into that guy. Get Flavo on an even more team-friendly deal. Find some sort of a mechanism that can do such a thing, and then launch Freddie Anderson with no harm done to him into the sun. Just anywhere outer space really would be great. And then take a shovel or a spade or something like anything with a big blunt, flat face and just whack me with it right in the noggin. Just put it right, give me one right on the kisser. Martin Natchez loves Cancun in the late springtime so much, he owns more property down there than you could possibly imagine. And even though it takes him until late May to get down there physically, in his mind, when he's dipsy-doodling around at the blue line, ours and theirs, take your pick, or avoiding a battle in the corner, his head's already there. Please find a second seat on the catapult into the sun with Freddie Anderson, launch me in there, and we can talk about that first Chris Kreider goal until the lights go out. Go Canes. Why not us? Take warning. Redvolution.
I think it's appropriate that he's slandering Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and he is our July calendar guy, Joe.
Yeah. Speaking of moves that didn't work.
With a puppy. Oh, that reminds me.
That doesn't mean it can't be salvaged.
I don't know, man.
What's a way out this offseason? Like, what would be a way out for the Hurricanes at this point?
You just got to get the number off the book somehow. You gotta like Alexander Semin that, so to speak.
You think it's reached that?
Oh goodness, that is a cute kitten.
He has not reached that point.
I am out on Kotkaniemi.
Wow.
Completely out.
I'm not out on Natchez yet.
I'm not either.
I just think this was a bad year to be in the market. I mean, there's just not commensurate value to what they lost. I know they've made some signings. They brought some guys in, and it's that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, get back to the defense aspect.
That's what they're going to do. But there was no big fish out there for them to add. That's going to have to be, that almost will have to be again at the deadline, right? Like whose contract is up, who doesn't want to be there.
There's an argument to be had about
because again,
they'll put
cap
themselves in a
space
position.
is a value.
Yes, they'll have cap space to do something.
Cap space is a value.
Let's see what else we have in the OG Sports phone here.
What's going on, guys? Just all the prompt about the Hurricanes off-season moves so far, and just want to give my thoughts. I personally love the decisions we've made so far. Not paying guys like Pesci, Shea, Turbo, Gensel. Yes, Canes will be worse record-wise probably this year, but again, we're going to have tons of cap space for 2025 and down the line to sign bigger free agents to help surround Aho, Such, Jarvis, all those guys. And again, we have these pretty good prospects coming up that obviously they're not going to put up 40 goals, 30 goals a year, but they will eventually, I think. And I think we're going to be in a good spot. All the fair weather fans just need to take a back seat until April when playoffs show up and just relax. Appreciate you guys listening. Enjoy the show. Take it easy.
Yeah, I think ultimately we know what the Hurricanes' floor is.
Yeah.
But we also kind of are figuring out their ceiling in the playoffs, in goal and that top line. So, maybe you're asking, how do you get Svechnikov to play up to his potential?
That's my thing.
We should be fair to Svech. He was coming off an ACL. Mm-hmm. And I know Adrian Peterson ruined this for everybody.
Everybody's supposed to do that now.
Because he was out for like 2 weeks and then I was like, oh, I'm back. And everyone's
rush for 5,000 yards.
Yeah, like everyone since then, it's like, yeah, it's no big deal. When I was growing up, when you tore your ACL, it was like a 2-year freaking deal, man. Like, and it was like then even with Brady when he had the injury, like he played the next year, and then he was like, I really wasn't that. Yeah. I didn't feel like me until the 1 full year removed from being back from the injury.
Yeah, I think that's the best.
So I think you have to look at Svech and go, okay, what can you do? I feel like we've made this is a familiar refrain, man. We are doing the 2-step with Svech, but let's see it with a fully healthy, when the blood moon is in the right house, and who's ever kid you're hooking up with is you're doing something else and you're focused and whatever's going on, man.
All right, one more.
Right,
one more.
I'm really not sure how I'm supposed to feel. These names that are getting traded away seem super relevant. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel. So this is just an honest Canes fan here. Seeing them go is not necessarily a bad thing. Is that from a place of, hey, we are at a standard that we'd like to guard, and these folks may not be at that standard? They're good players. They're great players, from what I understand. But are they really cutting the line where it needs to be so we can have a cup in Raleigh? Not sure. Love what you do. Good. God bless the Old North State, and hope you have a beautiful Independence Day. And go Canes.
That's probably the best way to go about it. We still don't know how to feel about these things. We'll see.
Yeah. And again, getting back to they actually lost. I mean,
yeah.
If you're sitting here saying, I can't play Gensel with Aho because he's too small, well, I don't know if that's the guy you want to invest in. Okay. Now, if you're saying he was the best one available for this year, and Marchessault is a little bit of a munchkin the same way that he is. So I could see them saying, I don't want him either.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
So I get where they're kind of coming from. I'm more interested in seeing how it goes from here. You still have the bones of a very good team. I'm sure some of these moves, William Carrier and some of these other guys, I'm sure they'll all be, they'll come in, they'll do their part. They'll be the plumbers that they've kind of been missing a little bit of, and we'll see what they do. I mean, ultimately, the Svech, Kokanyemi, if Natchez comes back, how do you put him in a spotlight? How do you turn the key with him?
Natchez is the one.
And if you can't turn the key with him, then you do need to move him.
I think you have to just cut your losses with Kokanyemi. Natchez, I think there's still something there,
There's value.
You just nailed it. How do you speak the language to get to Natchez to get
Rod.
that?
We love Rod. Something tells me there's a missing connector.
Maybe
there.
Maybe that's the case.
Housekeeping. I got the whole list.
I was going to say,
you ready?
The whole thing might just be housekeeping. Brought to you by Enovana. Check them out, enovna.com. Green Cleaning Solutions.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
I'd like to let you know that Enovana will be at the house tomorrow, Joe. It's been 2 weeks.
Big shouts to Enovana. Right before I left for the North.
Yeah.
Came by, cleaned the house.
Awesome.
They're unbelievable.
You love coming back to a clean house, right? That's what it's all about.
They are unbelievable. Check them out, please. Pretty please. They have great deals for you when they're not cleaning our houses. They have plenty of time, plenty of help.
Yeah, when they're not at my house, they can
background checked. I wasn't even home. Nobody was even home.
Okay. I thought summer was supposed to be slow, but why does summer suddenly seem like it's super, super busy for the podcast?
You want me to do all of them? Or you
go ahead, man. What do we got here?
All right, let's go in chronological order.
Okay.
7/18 is International Ice Cream Day.
Yeah.
The sports day too.
So it's technically International Ice Cream Day is that Saturday, but Two Roosters is doing an entire week because why does it have to just be a day?
Why not?
It's their birthday. It's International Ice Cream Day, and they're doing a celebration across all their locations, including one on July 18th.
7/18. That's a Thursday
in Wake Forest.
So we will be there.
We will be there.
The OG Live.
I was actually scouting it today as I dropped off Jacob at a hockey camp.
Presented by Sleek Fleet. So that's 7/18. That's a Thursday. That's Two Roosters. We will get to Two Roosters, but I have a new love, the Shaboomy Blue.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, you haven't been in July.
No,
I could see it.
No, I just went this past weekend.
Did you get the Shaboomy?
Not this past weekend, but the weekend before. I did not. I used my Shaboomy on Saturday.
Okay, well, they have a Shaboomy flavor.
By the way, free plug, whatever.
Yeah.
We've had the Shaboomy
They're
guys
North
on.
Carolina people.
They're North Carolina people. They're good dudes. I was reluctant to get a Shaboomy shade.
Okay.
I just was. It's like super expensive and what the heck. But I finally got one for this summer. This is the first summer I've had one. And every time I set it up, I think to myself,
what was I waiting for?
I wasted so much damn time on so much other crap that I never want to use again. Anyway, so I didn't realize they had a Shaboomy Blue ice cream flavor because I had an homage. I had a peanut butter one.
Yeah.
Not this weekend, but the weekend before, which was excellent.
Okay. So 7/18, that's a Thursday, Two Roosters out at Wake Forest, you're saying?
At the factory.
7/28 is a Sunday. We will be at Crank Arm on West Davie Street, downtown Raleigh. We are calling this the OG Summer Jam.
Okay.
We'll be out at Crank Arm. They have their wonderful selection of beers. Okay, we have that. We have our friends from the Butcher's Market who are going to be out there. We have our friends from the Breeze Through, and their food truck
and grill
is going to be out there.
Very excited about this.
And there'll be a DJ. So just come on, hang out with us. It's a Sunday. What do you have to do on a Sunday? So 7/28 will be at Crank Arm. That's the OG Summer Jam. I unlike you, I listen to the show while I'm gone. I like to keep up with things. And you were like, "Oh, I'm sure there's a band." No, that's the whole point, dude.
There's no band.
There's no band.
Okay.
There's a DJ.
I thought
and there's no concert.
Last time I checked, you wanted to be
attraction
there for like a Bush show.
Right, but then cooler heads prevailed.
That's
And
fine.
7/28, that's a Sunday.
Okay.
All right, 8/24, as you know, is the Sports Podcast Festival. That's at the Rialto.
Brought to you by Breeze Through.
That's a Saturday. Also brought to you by our friends at Breeze Through. So go check them out. Go to therialto.com. I got to the bottom of this story. It was not Hayes Permar. It was the people. It was his forefathers who grabbed therialto.com as the URL. Because there's a Rialto in every city, dude.
Of course.
Okay. So how he got the Rialto.com, I was like, you're a genius. He's like, it wasn't me.
No.
I was like, okay, well, therialto.com, 8/24 Sports Podcast Festival. Get those tickets while you can. They're moving so fast.
Every time we mention it, we sell tickets.
And now there's a new.
And we just also announced the hoodie too. You can get our Instagram account to see the hoodie.
Yeah,
from
perfect.
Home Field.
Yeah. So obviously that's us. That's Hand in the Dirt. That's Full Cast Shutdown. And Debbie Yao will be our special guest that day. We just have to give her a time, by the way.
What do you mean?
We didn't tell her what time to be there. I told her it would be in the afternoon. So
yeah, I've also decided while you were gone that we're bringing back You're Full of It, Gilead.
I heard that
4 bottles of bourbon.
Okay. Look, bottles of bourbon will be in play on 9/30. That's a Friday, September 30th. The OG Golf Classic, second annual OG Golf Classic, 9:30.
Jeez.
We
have all the things going on.
Just so you know, that's at Eagle Ridge. Okay. Email me, gilio.joe@gmail.com if you would like to play in the OG Golf Classic. We limit this to 18 groups because I've played in these events. You've played in these events and they take forever.
Yeah, they take forever, man. We don't want that.
We pulled this off last year in less than 4 hours.
It was great.
In less than 4 hours.
I enjoyed it.
We did par max. We had all kinds of different games. We had an unbelievable raffle. We will have all of those things again, of course. We might even have a certain Hall of Fame coach with us.
Ooh.
Because as you reminded me,
I did
promises were made.
There were.
A text was sent.
There were.
A text was received.
There were.
So
We'll
we're in negotiation process for that.
We'll see what happens.
That's September 30th. It's September 20th. It's a Friday, September 20th. Okay. At Eagle Ridge. That's the OG Golf Classic. Again, email me, gilio.joe@gmail.com.
That's a lot of housekeeping, man.
Hey, man.
It's a lot of
That's
housekeeping.
a good thing to have.
No, we're busy. That is a very good thing to have. A very good thing to have. Big thanks to our friend Matt Davis over at State Farm. InsureGarner.com, the OGinsurance.com is the website. You can call them directly at 919-779-8277, and you can save money on your home and auto. Again, that's 919-779-8277. And today is just one big Rowback advertisement as Joe is rocking his peaches today. You're going to wear a Rowback every day this week?
I got my peaches out in Rowback. I get my ice cream from 2 Roosters.
Rowback shorts are so comfortable that even my 16-year-old, who doesn't want any of my hand-me-downs to him,
was like, hey,
because I
need some shorts.
I got the wrong size shorts initially.
Yeah, but they survived the test of Florida.
Oh, they absolutely survived the test of Florida.
And the golf shirts, we just had an unbelievable heat wave. And I spent the last week on the golf course.
Perfect.
That's why I ended up getting more. And yes, I get my peaches from Rowback, rowback.com. Use the promo code OG20, save 20%.
Even my 16-year-old loves his Rowback shorts.
I played golf with a guy yesterday, Sunday. It was early.
Yeah.
Buddy was sweating through his shorts. And
should have gotten that Rowback.
I told him, I go, hey, can I take a picture? We'll do a before and after. I can probably get you the shorts for free.
Yeah.
And then he goes, hey, my wife works for one of their competitors. And I was like, I was like, well, they will not be happy with this, sir.
Absolutely not. Not good. So I felt like I should call this segment the It's July 4th week. There's not a lot going on. So here are two topics that everybody's melting down over.
Okay.
Because there's nothing else going on. Can you guess the two items that happened last week that were exactly that? We don't. It's basically what I like to call performative takes.
Yes.
You don't feel that strongly about this, but baby, I got 3 hours to fill. First take ain't just going to take the day off. I need the takes. Please bring me the heat. There were two items last week that fulfilled that.
Okay. Not only do I have this, but I'm not going to do your new favorite thing that I do that you don't really like, but I'll do it anyway.
Which is?
Turn it into an NC State thing.
Of course.
For U.S. soccer.
That's all 2024 is, man. How can Joe turn this into an NC State thing?
For U.S. soccer, the answer was staring you in the face. His name is Tab Ramos. The wolf blood was right there in front of you. You had literally been grooming him and developing him to be your head coach. And instead, the guy's brother is the president of U.S. soccer. So, of course, you go with the Tar Heel. Now, I'm not going to get into Greg Berhalter, whatever he did or didn't do in high school or college or Tenafly or whatever the Reyna family is claiming. I don't give a shit about any of that.
I have a take on that, by the way. It is
now proven without a doubt he can't win at the international level against good teams. Like, there comes a point in time where you have to move on from somebody who doesn't perform at a level. Like, honestly, how many different times are we going to be like, yeah, but his brother's the president? Awesome. Meanwhile, Tab Ramos over here, the wolf blood could have solved this a long time ago, man. So again, when in doubt, go with the wolf.
Especially in 2024, right?
I'm impressed, dude. You see that?
No, like, I'm not even being an asshole here. Like, I'm really impressed.
They had an easy choice, man.
I was like, how the hell is he going to turn USA Soccer into some NC State shit?
Boom.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a good point. A very good point. Here's the thing. Okay. USA Soccer occupies a really interesting space because I know the people who care about soccer really feel it deep.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm not talking about this in a dismissive way. It has nothing to do with that. But I think USA Soccer has two issues right now, presently, okay, and has nothing to do with NC State. The first one is that everybody, because of technology and television, has a better understanding in 2024 than they did back in the 90s about what good soccer actually looks like. Because every Saturday and Sunday morning, I can now watch the EPL with ease, man. Television in their search for the next big events. I get the UEFA. I get all that stuff. So U.S. soccer fans are a hell of a lot more educated today than they were 20, 30 years ago when we were just hopeful that we can make a decent run, right? So I think that's a problem right now. And they see what the men's national team is doing, and they're going, no. That doesn't work in this situation. You're too pretty, for lack of a better term. You're too tactical. Stop making that extra pass. Just go, right? So there's that issue. And USA Soccer can't pull a fast one on everybody because everybody's too educated. But then it gets to the other issue.
I mean, they tried.
But then you brought up the whole like behind the scenes drama, TMZ shit and everything else. And I haven't fully formed this opinion. So I'm just going to put it out there and workshop it. But I feel like U.S. soccer's problem is not a talent problem. People always like to bring up this very archaic, antiquated idea that, well, all the best talent ends up playing football or basketball. Imagine Patrick Mahomes if he was guided towards soccer. No. This is a big-ass country with a lot of freaking people.
Maybe not Patrick Mahomes, but the cheetah.
Right. If only USA Soccer had the cheetah. If only.
All of my theories.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, if LeBron James played soccer. No. That's not it. It's about development. We got talent. We got bodies. We got the population. We just don't know how to develop them, which gets to my galaxy brain hottest of hot freaking takes when it comes to U.S. men's national team. And then it's actually starting to catch up with the women's team too. The women's team was dominant because we actually give a shit about women's sports in this country compared to other countries. And because of Title IX and development, we were light years ahead of everywhere else.
At least 30, yeah.
But now, everywhere else is caught up as the women's game has caught up in popularity and money and everything else. And you're noticing that the women's national team, it's not a given anymore like it used to be back in the day. But they recognize this. It's about development. And we were better than everybody else when it came to development. The problem with U.S. men's national team is that we think our development system is good when it's not. And the reason why I think they think it's good is because they're in a bubble. The hot take here is the U.S. men's national team is the most expensive youth travel club money can buy. They are run like a youth travel league. I was joking about
right down to the coach's brother being
like I was joking about the team manager jacket. But that's like serious shit with the U.S. men's national team. Like that's the attitude I think they take. And that it's about politics. It's about who do you know. It's not about who's actually good. And there's the other aspect about, well, we have players now who actually play in the EPL. I mean, we got a guy on Chelsea. Right. But is he the guy on Chelsea? No, he's not. It's the equivalent of, you look at, we just talked about we just talked about this with the Carolina Hurricanes. Who is the Carolina Hurricanes' best player right now? Now, Aho. Okay. Aho compared to the other quote unquote best players on other teams. We like Aho. We recognize he's really, really good. And the rest of the league, the rest of the NHL thinks he's very, very good. But there's clearly a level indicator here. I think the same thing happens with the U.S. soccer. And like, look at the strides we've made. We've got guys that are playing internationally. Yeah, but what exactly are their roles on those teams? How good are they actually on the international stage? And you can buy all this stuff you want. You can pay for play. You can buy development. You can get the right coaches, but you can't buy a national team, man. You just can't. And that's where I think we are with the U.S. men's national team. Compare that to how USA men's basketball gets put together.
Oh, well, it's coming for them too, by the way.
It is
international.
It is.
France, I don't know what's happening there, but you think the NCAA tournament is fluky? You think the College World Series was fluky?
Yeah.
You think the Stanley Cup playoffs are voodoo?
Yeah.
Sir, France legitimately has a chance to win the Euro right now. They have not scored a goal in regulation.
It's weird.
In regulation play.
Yeah, but you should at least, if you're the U.S., you should get out of the Copa group stage with what is supposedly an easy draw on your own fields.
I'm just saying the voodoo, man. The voodoo that's involved in the highest level of soccer.
I'm with you on that.
The voodoo that is involved in the highest level of soccer is off the freaking charts.
And then the other topic that occupied a week's worth of conversation, when in the grand scheme of things, we'll forget about it, it would be Bronny James.
Speaking of nepotism. Yeah, got it. Yeah, everyone. There's a lot of people who are like, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing this while not recognizing anything else.
Yeah. Nepotism is in every sport, every business. Right. I mean, it's everybody gets complaining about this and this and that. Actually, usually the people who are taking jobs that don't actually are worth it, or they haven't earned it, it's usually from nepotism. I mean, hell, go look at the NFL. All right. It's just filled with, well, he's the kid.
How many Shanahans and
Ohio State got rid of Urban Meyer eventually because of Urban Myers,
Earl Bruce's grandson,
all because of the nepotism and taking care of your guys.
Yeah,
that's how bad nepotism can be in sports. So to me, it's not about nepotism.
Yeah, was a wife beater.
Yeah. I mean, it's not about nepotism. To me, the real story is the Los Angeles Lakers were an organization that apparently at one point in time did stand on their own, but they're so desperate to stay relevant that they will bend over backwards to do whatever it is that LeBron James wants at the twilight of his career. It's cool. Yes, it'll be a really cool thing to see LeBron and Bronny on the court at the same time. We've talked about this all the time. You bring up Deion Sanders and his kids. He wants to coach his kids. There's this dynamic. Totally makes sense. And for LeBron, he wants to play with his kid. Totally get it. And he did what a lot of other people would do in that situation. Make the conditions such that you can make it happen.
His son get a job.
Bingo. Where have we heard that before?
Everywhere,
right?
Yeah.
And usually the kid, not usually as good as the dad. I mean, it works out that way. But the point here is that the real story to me is the Los Angeles Lakers are in no way, shape, or form any better today than they were the last 2 years. It's essentially the same roster. It's essentially LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Can they stay healthy? And whether or not they're going to get along with JJ Redick. But LeBron got everything that he wanted. You got his kid on the team. He got his podcast partner as the head coach. And, I'm going to take a team-friendly deal. Remember, he was going to take a team-friendly deal. They couldn't secure anybody. Well, guess I'm going to take a big old contract now. So LeBron stays winning. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the Lakers are going to win. And that, to me, is the buried lead here. It's the Lakers, a once proud organization, is so debased that they're doing whatever they can. It's like the Lakers and the Yankees are in this weird, bizarro state where these proud franchises are caught up in the most stupid shit, man.
And have an unbelievable player, but just nothing around them.
Nothing around them, which we might get to the Yankees in the lightning round. Big thanks to Hometown Realty for sponsoring Ovias and Giglio. Check them out, myhtr.com. Buy and sell, although a lot of people want to buy in this market. I was driving around Cary this weekend, and I see just new construction going up everywhere. It's insane as everything pushes out. My Hometown Realty understands the incentives that are in play here with the builders, so you want to contact them. Let's say you buy the house. You got to take it to closing, or you sold the house.
Well, you do need to go to myhtr.com to buy and sell with confidence. They also have that mortgage calculator. I know some people go into this process and think, I'm just going to buy a house tomorrow. Whoa, slow down. You might need to understand what you can and can't afford. Best way to do that is to go to myhtr.com.
And big thanks to Whitaker and Hamer. Check them out, wh.lawyer. You did not need Whitaker and Hamer while you were driving all up and down everywhere.
Heard you say that, including when I was driving in Nebraska.
That's good.
I was like,
that's good. I did not need Whitaker and Hamer, although I might need to represent them, have them represent us when we look at the fees for the tolls.
The tolls, yeah.
Goodness gracious. Anyway, you can check them out, wh.lawyer. And big thanks to the Butcher's Market, which came through big time for 4th of July at my house, whether it was the sides or the actual meats. All good. I bought so much that I actually had to freeze some steak tips, but I will be getting to them this week.
I did that with the tuna steaks.
Nice.
I don't know if you've had those yet. They're delicious.
I have not had the tuna steaks because Kelly is not a fan of seafood. Unless we're talking like a crab cake. And last time I checked, I'm not sure they don't do crab cakes, do they?
I don't think so, but James is into the tuna steaks. So I got a couple of those and they're nice.
Good stuff. You had the Roadcaster, so you didn't have the
monster voice.
No,
while I was gone.
I did, because you put it on the new Roadcaster, but maybe I didn't ask what. Oh no, you did out of an homage to you. I don't use mic 1.
Right, that's the thing. You didn't realize that this only works on mic 1.
Yeah,
that's how it works. Sorry about that. So let's get to the lightning round.
It was funny me trying to be like
lightning round,
but it's not actually working.
Does my voice so different now?
So remember when we had Matt Norlander on?
I do. Oh, I love that we're doing this.
And Matt Norlander. I mean, we were talking about Carolina and Duke. We were talking about Carolina and Duke. And
now who's making it about state?
Look, I'm putting you. I'm setting you up. I'm setting you up. So
love it.
Matt was talking about Duke and Carolina and like who's actually upset with their year and things like that. And then you came in like
top rope.
Like I heard Stone Cold Steve Austin glass break. My God, it's Joe Giglio with the NC State music. And you made it about NC State. You're like, no, sir. They're both mad because, and I heard you even say it to Keats.
Yep.
You were so excited, like you're talking all over Keats. Just like, no, let me tell you something. Kevin. They're mad in Chapel Hill and in Durham. Right?
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. That's why.
So our guy, Theo Pinson, who just he never wants to respond to my tweets, but it is what it is. It's the Title League. It's the Run Your Race pod. And the caption on Twitter was, imagine if NC State won a national championship this year. And I'm thinking to myself,
I wonder who they're trying to appeal to.
Why are these Carolina guys constantly talking about State?
I wonder what their traffic numbers are indicating.
So Theo's asking this to Armando Bacot, and I thought Bacot's response was
awesome.
Interesting.
NC State, though, yeah, like. Yeah, I can't stand NC State.
Bro, it's something about, bro, you know how sick I would have been if they won it this year?
Oh my gosh. I wanted Duke to win. I wanted Duke to go to the Final Four. I didn't want NC State to go.
Pause.
Respect, man. Respect.
Pause it right there.
Respect.
I wanted Duke to win.
Respect.
The
Man.
rivalry.
The real rival.
The real rivalry.
The only rival.
The rivalry that keeps college basketball, keeps the lights on, and pays the bills. This is the one. I wanted Duke to win? What kind of bullshit rivalry is that? I'm sorry.
He's about to make a great point, though.
I know. That's the funny part.
Go to the Final Four. Because, like, Duke going to the Final Four, like, I knew like
they were good enough.
They were good enough, and like Duke, maybe if they beat Purdue, fine. They won't beat UConn, and it's like,
yeah,
that would like it'll be like remembered at Duke for maybe 2 to 3 years, and then after that, like they didn't win it all. Like so be it. Like da. But like NC State, like they never gonna let this go.
They not gonna.
They beat us in the championship. Then they beat Duke in the Elite Eight, and I blame Duke too because Duke shouldn't have lost to them in the ACC tournament. That's where it all started.
What the fuck were they doing?
I don't know. And then, like, you know how I go in March when the team get hot, they're hard to beat.
They're hard to beat.
They
was cooking with fish grease.
Hats off to that. I mean, even for me, I mean, I was like, you look at all the other games versus Burns, like, we go at it like da-da-da-da, but like, he just had confidence that game. Like that last game, it was a long night.
Nothing you could do, bro.
It was a long night.
Literally
like,
nothing you could do with that.
It was a long night for me. I ain't gonna lie.
Respect, man. All respect. Love it.
I saw that and I just completely went, all right, I don't want to hear shit about NC State and Carolina and this and that when you're spending all this time talking about it. All this time. And seriously, props to Theo, man, because he understands. All right, I'm going to get the internet's talking. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to say some shit about NC State and they pick up and by the way, I understand that's the feature, not a bug. Yeah. That's a feature, not a bug about the entire thing. All right, next up.
The only thing you missed with Armando, he was awesome.
Yeah.
And he talked about how much money he made and some other stuff. He was really, really good.
Oh, no, it was a good interview. Yeah.
The only problem, he had Will Brinson disease. Like, he was like, with the mic.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like, give him the clip. Just clip it on him.
Give him the mic stand.
Yeah, just
give him the mic stand.
We don't need all this.
Next up on the lightning round, honestly, I don't even care about this one, but
you know, I talked about, you know, you got to fill time. It's the NFL offseason, right?
Okay.
So right now the NFL offseason is filled up with Aaron Rodgers apparently went to Egypt to see if the pyramids were real. You've got the Dak Prescott. He's in a boot. There's a contract play, yada, yada, yada. What else do we have? There was something else that was happening in the NFL that I thought to myself, some Dallas Cowboy was doing a podcast and people are telling him to stop doing podcasts. Travis is out there with Taylor Swift. Everybody's waiting for them to get engaged. Like, we're in peak off-season protocols for the NFL.
Okay.
Including what happened with the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are doing the thing where they're showing you the behind-the-scenes footage stuff. You know, they put it out on the YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like Hard Knocks for the Panthers, right?
Sure.
The Giants are on Hard Knocks. I haven't seen an episode yet. And they showed like a brief clip of Nicole Tepper.
Oh, yeah.
And people are having a meltdown about this.
No.
Because, see, this is... Guys.
That's what happens when you let a woman...
No, stop it.
Out of the kitchen.
Just
let her wear shoes.
Anytime the Nicole Tepper discourse pops up, I'm thinking to myself, no. We got a misogynist on our hands here.
There we go.
Are we just bored of banging on David Tepper? I mean, I get it. There's only so many days that you can bang on David Tepper. I get it. So you're like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go.
I know what
go
this
after
needs.
The wife. I know what it needs. Gotta sprinkle a little misogyny on here. Here we go.
Just a dash.
Just a smidge of it. Because what does a woman know? You need balls to make football decisions. And clearly, even if you have them, that doesn't mean you're making the correct ones, as we find out in Pantherland. So yeah, that's my NFL update for the day.
And lastly,
was it really an NFL? I've not paid a single bit of attention to the NFL. It was really.
I mean, we're so desperate that I think people are getting got by this list. Did you see this? I think you saw this.
I got got by it. The ACC towns.
Yeah, this one.
Where did it come from?
This is from.
Because it looks like a real
shout out
ACC graphic is what it looks like.
Shout out to Wolfpack Vishnu. He got people duped on this because you retweeted it. Right?
Yeah.
Let's go Raleigh. Let's go Wolfpack. ACC city rankings. Raleigh number 1, Coral Gables number 2, Dallas number 3, and then keeps going and going and going. And then and what do I see at the bottom? Chapel Hill 18th. Last place, 18 out of 18. Worse than really South Bend, Really worse than Chestnut Hill?
Ooh, South Bend is
clearly this is the work of an NC State fan.
The graphic looked like a real ACC graphic, and it was retweeted. So I was
yes, he's like Wolfpack, I believe. Oh, I'd appreciate credit whoever made this list. ACC bro, it's on the graphic. Like clearly, Wolfpack Vishnu, whoever you are, man. I think you're a listener. Do you follow me? Do you follow me, man? Yeah, you follow me. Well done. Like slow clap because you got so many people pissed off. Even Kelly was like, "Did you see this list?" I'm like, "Honey, that's not a real list."
You got me on the Winston-Salem. I'm like, "Wait, Winston-Salem's not better than Louisville."
It would have been funny. It would have been funny if Wake Forest was actually Wake Forest. The town of Wake Forest.
Yeah.
That might have been
that is better than Winston-Salem. I don't know why they went.
Yeah, I'm just saying. There's nothing. Winston-Salem's got some spots, man. It's got some spots. So I thought that was funny.
I'm not going to.
Last item on the lightning round. The Yankees suck.
Did you go to a Yankees game while you're up in New York?
I did. James Vito got me tickets for Father's Day to a Yankees Mets game at Citi Field.
Yeah.
Very exciting. We were all excited. Yankees having a good year. The King of the North is still the King of the North.
Were you there for like the national anthem standoff?
No.
Okay.
I was there for the Yankees walking and hitting every batter. They gave up 8 runs. Judge did hit a home run, but that was the only offense that the Yankees had. There was a long rain delay.
Okay. And you weren't there for, and you were not there for Costanza night. Is our guy Joey?
No, Joey was at Costanza night. That was actually in the Bronx. I was over in Queens.
I see.
And I have serious questions about why Major League Baseball lets Queens have a team.
What do you mean?
You want to talk about people being mad at Raleigh about a parking deck.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Oh my God. Like there is nothing around Citi Field. I was in disbelief because I kept saying to my wife, like, there's got to be a pizza place. There's got to be somewhere that we can go.
Dude, it's like Barclays.
Barclays is like Nirvana compared to the Bronx, man.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to the Queens, man.
There's at least that artichoke pizza like 2 blocks away from Barclays.
Yeah.
Right.
And right across the street's the Shake Shack. Like,
right.
I'm talking nada. There's a bunch of chop shops in the outfield. And I'm just sitting here going, why does Major League Baseball allow this?
Much like the Mets are a chop shop. It's appropriate that Citi Field is around all that stuff,
the
right?
Mets are playing well, though.
Okay.
They're actually on fire.
Yeah.
The only thing I was mad about was the closer Diaz got suspended for some sort of foreign substance.
Oh, I saw that.
So I wanted to be there for the trumpets.
Sure.
Because they had some other they did an unbelievable job with that field in that stadium.
Sure.
Unbelievable job. As someone who when I was growing up, I was a Mets fan. My Uncle Vito used to work for the Parks Department in Flushing.
So you were actually going to Shea.
Yes. So, and obviously it was like in the same spot. And back then it was even bigger dump. So they've done an unbelievable job with that stadium. Inside it was awesome. They had lobster tails and whatever else they had going on.
Oh, it's kind of like
concession-wise.
It's like Marlins Park. Marlins Park is in the middle of nowhere in Miami.
Yeah.
But the concessions and all that stuff, the stadium's beautiful. The concessions are great, but it's whatever.
But for me, I just left that place going, what? How? Why? What is happening in Queens? Like, it got to the point where I was like, why does I left there and I'm like, why does New York even claim Queens? They should just say it's part of Long Island. They shouldn't even claim it as a borough. Seriously.
That is a hot take. I like that. Big thanks to Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority for sponsoring Ovies and Gilio. Check them out, bugsbite.com. I need to contact them about a moisture barrier, by the way. I don't have one
under the house.
Under the house. I don't have one in the crawl space. But
it's important.
But Mosquito Authority coming through this summer. We haven't had a lot of rain. It's been gross. I mean, this past weekend we finally got some rain. But it's been gross. Bugs are trying to come in the house, all that kind of stuff. But with the 4th, we had people over like I typically do on 4th of July. Did things that I don't want to get in trouble for. So we're good there. But I made sure I did all the things precautionary. But while we were hanging out and it was gross and sweaty and everybody was enjoying the fireworks, mosquitoes, not a problem. All thanks to Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. So check them out, bugsbite.com. I need to drop on by Nature's Relief. I know you mentioned that.
Did you have your soda yet?
I have not. I'll do that Thursday.
Okay.
I'll have it Thursday.
I don't know why I think it's going to affect you.
No, I found one that actually really gets me.
Was it more than 10 milligrams?
It's 10 milligrams. It's
Ooh,
Delta
so it's
9.
potential. So we have potential
it's
here.
called Mars. They're out of like Chicago, I think. And I don't know if Nature's Relief has it.
They sold out of my grape.
Oh, did they?
They
the grape
did.
soda?
And I was like, what is... I sent
So
Jennifer a text. I'm like, Jennifer, I need my grape back, please.
I will start drinking that one about an hour before.
I have to do the show by myself.
No, you don't.
Well, maybe you're better than I am when it comes to those things.
Typically, I'm not going to fall asleep
It's not
on the
the 50.
50.
It's not the 50 miller.
No kidding. But no, I gotta drop by because I'm out of my sleep gummies and it caught up to me last night. I slept like crap last night. I'm like, why did I sleep like crap last night? I know why. Because I ran out of the gummies. I need to drop on by Nature's Relief to get those. So you got questions, they've got answers. That's the key thing.
And they have
Nature's
new
Relief.
hours.
Yes.
Western Boulevard, new summer hours. It's going to take me 2 seconds to find the email that I sent to you.
Oh, yeah.
But I have it right here. New summer hours. Are you ready?
Let's go.
10 a.m. until 10 p.m. So 10 to 10. Easy enough to remember. That's Thursday through Saturday at the Western Boulevard location. Again, they'll open up at 10 a.m., close at 10 p.m. Go get yourself some beverages. Go get yourself some gummies. Thursday through Saturday, 10 a.m. through 10 p.m. at the Western Boulevard location.
Big thanks to Two Roosters for sponsoring us. As well as we mentioned, we'll be there July 18th at the Wake Forest location at the factory for the sports day of their birthday blowout celebration. TwoRoosters.com so you can check out their rotating flavors. I went with just the on permanent peanut butter one, which is really, really good. So another thing about Two Roosters, really great customer service. So Kelly had asked for something. They gave her the wrong ice cream. They're like, I had asked for this. They gave her the cookies and cream, which I want to get to the cookies and cream in a second. So they gave her the cookies and cream. She had asked for like the triple fudge, whatever explosion. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry. Here, have this cookies and cream, and then we'll get you your other one. So we essentially got a free scoop of ice cream out of that, or an extra scoop of ice cream, because they're like, oh yeah, we're bad. They took care of it. We're good to go. Dude, because I'm basically a garbage plate, I had the cookies and cream after I had enjoyed my peanut butter one. That is because I think it's cookies and cream, right?
You're thinking, oh, it's a standby.
It's a standby. It's no big deal, right? That was the best cookies and cream I've ever had. I had one bite of that and I went, oh, damn. Okay. I see you Two Roosters. So don't sleep on the core flavor, the core stuff, even the classics. Because even the classics are elevated with Two Roosters.
Did you know they had a secret pint club membership where they have flavors that aren't even on the rotating flavor?
Now you know about this. Now you know about this.
Secret pint club membership. Check them out. Two Roosters. Yes, what I went with was the Shaboomy Blue Moon. It's blue. And I thought it was going to be like almost like an Italian ice.
Yeah.
It's a vanilla base.
Nice.
It's awesome.
All right, let's get out of here on some Hey Joe questions. Thanks to our friends over at Crank Arm. Again, we'll be out there on July 28th for the OG Summer Jam. Go to crankarmbrewing.com to find out other events. More importantly, go get their beer. Go hang out at their space. Pick it up at the Butcher's Market while you're out and about as we get that corporate
double
synergy
combo, baby,
to go. That's what it's all about. We did some things a little bit differently on July 4th week. We had their OG summer break. A couple different things that were going on.
You're the best, by the way. I don't see you for 3 weeks, and I even told you I missed you. And your only critique from my interview with Kevin Keats was, "Oh, you're talking all over him about how excited you were about Duke and Carolina being you beating Duke and Carolina. You're the best, Joe."
Jay Ray, as one of the people that thought it was time to move on, I said, "No, you were excited to be talking to him." That's all I said.
You can go back and watch the tape.
Okay, I'll go back and watch the tape. As one of the people that thought it was time to move on from Coach Keats at the end of the regular season, I'll say that it certainly had nothing to do with his personality. He's such a likable dude. I'm glad he got the breakthrough he did, and I wish him the very best next season. I will say this about the interview, and I will give you credit on this one, because he was talking about, there was a moment there where he was talking about, he didn't like how people were talking about the team when they were down, not understanding like, hey, he said he was disappointed.
Yeah.
Right. And then you kind of pushed him on come on. Are you coaching differently? Are you doing X, Y, Z? And then you just kind of had this moment. I'm like, but you got to stop blocking people on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say, I don't do the outside noise. I don't pay attention to this. but you're out there blocking people. So I thought that was kind of funny. But in that response, though, I thought it was interesting because he's right in how he kind of approached if I change what I do, I've already lost in that regard. So you just got to stick with what you know, believe in what you do. And I think it paid off for them as they went and they ran through the ACC championship and obviously onto the Final Four. So
it's going to be interesting to see how this team looks from the jump.
Yeah, dude,
we already got people, tweeting about Cooper Flag and all this other stuff.
Oh, he's gone
like ready.
Yeah,
I see it. I understand that.
Yeah,
but let's just see what they can do.
Let's see from Blake. Longleaf Swine lived up to the hype. Smash Burger was great. I'm telling you, it might just be the best burger in town. There's only one way to find out. So go over to Longleaf Swine. From JB, he was listening to the 919 Vice podcast. Went over to Ideal Sandwich and Grocery in Durham. Top 3 chicken cutlet sandwich I've ever eaten.
Ooh,
okay.
I love a chicken cutlet.
I have to go out there and go check that out. And from the YouTubes, we had Jeremy Markovich from the NC Rabbit Hole to talk about a variety of different things.
The monster truck crossing.
Dude,
that's awesome.
Insane. So a lot of people were commenting on the monster truck stuff. I had mentioned, some stuff about like Lost America, and this one guy, Matthew, bringing up like, yeah, man, spent most of my childhood in Florida. Boardwalk and baseball comment definitely hit home. I vividly remember that one. My sister lived in a neighborhood that was developed on the land of the Marco Polo, an old theme park off I-95. I vaguely remember that one. There's a lot of these old defunct places. Funny thing about the grave digger crossing the Currituck thing, it got picked up by the family on the Instagram page. So Dennis Anderson,
the guy who actually did it,
his son Ryan, who is driving now, I think, the truck. He's like, we got to do that again. I'm like, yes, you do. Yes, you do. And
slap
if you
an OG
do,
logo on it.
We need the OG logo on that bad boy. Let's make it happen. We will do a live podcast from the Currituck Sound. Let's go. I'm excited about this. We'll get Jeremy out there.
I'm ready.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for today's edition. Things are going to be a little bit different between now and the start of the football season. I guess some additional housekeeping here. Tuesdays, we're going to do shows a little bit differently.
Okay.
We're going to have, like, much like the Keats interview, a little bit more of an extended conversation with somebody.
Yes.
So tomorrow, we are scheduled to have a more extended conversation with Eric Tulsky and Rod Brindamore. I believe you sat down with AMAC, right?
I did. Alec Macarevich was here.
Awesome.
In the studio.
So we'll have that conversation with you a little bit later on. Yes. And we're working on some other things too as we get ready for the start of the football season. We will be at ACC kickoff this year. Things will be a little bit different for ACC kickoff for us. We're only going to go 2 days. So yeah, we're in the home stretch, folks. It's almost time.
We're in the great game now.
Exactly. That'll wrap it up. We will see you all later.